So, a quick rule of thumb that I find for writing functions is if you find that you're getting beyond about 3 or 4 arguments in a function, it's usually an indication that you want to be changing the definition of your function so that it has fewer than 3 or 4 arguments. So if you get to 5, 8 even arguments, yeah, you want to be maybe thinking about merging some of those options, some of those arguments into an object. So a couple of patterns that I've found that are quite useful for this is taking flags. So if your function is taking a bunch of booleans, for example, that flag different things, making that into a configuration object and passing that in as something called options. At the end of your function, make it optional. Alternatively, if you're passing in a bunch of data that is sort of related, making it into a request object, statically typing it, and you can sort of pass it in as sort of more like like if you have an email object. So if you have an email address, if you're passing an email address, body, MIME type, all these types of things, what you're really passing in is not 3 bits of data. You're passing in 1 bit of data. You can then merge together as one whole thing. Why do you do this? Why would you go to the effort of refactoring these things? If you have a function that takes, say, 8 arguments, and you don't have nice things like keyword arguments that make it a little easier to see what's going on, it can make it quite difficult for someone to do the right thing, where they, you have 8 arguments one after another being added in, especially if it's like true, false, true, false, true, false. Should this 3rd argument be true? Should the 4th one be false? I don't know. I can't remember. What is it again? So if you're getting on for like lots of arguments, then you probably want to be merging them together. So yeah. So the advice here, as your function gets big and you start adding more arguments, you want to limit them to about 1 to 4 arguments, I would say. Cheers.